Hey everybody, Prepper Nurse One here. Hope everybody is doing well. So we are going to be talking about all the forest fires down in the Amazon rainforest in Brazil, because Brazil actually has 2/3 of the rainforest in their country. So we're going to get into that in just a moment. Just want to mention a couple of things first. Obviously, like I do generally every night, we are a very family friendly oriented channel. Okay, so please, no racism, no hatred towards each other in the chat. And if you do, my great moderators will boot you out because we do not tolerate that. Okay, so just be decent to each other, be respectful. Everybody has a right to their opinion, and I respect that. But I would just ask you to respect everybody else's views as well. Okay. So anyway, first of all, let me just say that my moderators are awesome. I do say that a lot, but they are. They do a great job monitoring the chat, and I do appreciate them. So anyway, Kevin H said my brother imported his wife from the Amazon in Brazil. Wow. Okay. Yeah, I know. There's a lot of places they have the Christian mingle things for you can meet women from, like, I know the Philippines they have it, and they have it for Russia, over in those areas over there, and when arranged marriages, exactly, JJ. They these guys go over and they find women and they bring them back, and a buddy of mine did it with a woman from China, and as soon as she got her green card, she was gone. So, but again, that's for everybody, you know. Oh, thank you. Somebody just said all the best for my daughter. Thank you very much. Yeah, she's been busy. I talked to her earlier today, and they got her doing all kinds of get-togethers and meetings and orientation stuff, and they're doing it all weekend as well. So she won't even be home this weekend. Uh, you know, but she did that, and so she's gonna be a busy girl. And then classes start on Monday, so that's it. It'll be interesting. But anyway, okay, let's get into our topic, guys. Okay. So, and I got a couple interesting things to kind of throw out there. So there's the big news story is there are right now 74,155 fires in the Amazon, and most of it's in Brazil because like I said, 2/3 of the Amazon rainforest is in the country of Brazil. Okay, so they're saying that's an 84% spike from fires compared to last year. All right. Now here's the interesting thing: the forest fires, the smoke can be seen from space, which I think that is amazing. That it's that big of a fire area that it can be seen from space. Now you're going to say, well, wait a minute, isn't the rainforest? Isn't that really humid down there and wet? Well, right now they have a dry season every year, and right now that they're in that dry season. Okay. And I'm going to say this guy's name or spell it out because there's no way I'm going to say this correctly. This is the head guy down there in Brazil, and it's Bolsanaro. Okay, so he just took over in January, and you got a lot of environmental groups. Let's see, not a tree hugger, but the Amazon rainforest provides much of the Earth's oxygen. You're right, Robert. We're going to talk about that too in a second. But he just took over in January, and we're going to get into what environmentalists are saying. But anyway, so the rainforest. Let's talk about that just a second. And as Robert was saying, the rainforest provides 25% of the oxygen for the world. So let's put that into perspective for a second. Now, there's been a lot of deforestation going on down there with the cattle ranchers and all that type of stuff as well. So there's been a lot of that type of stuff happening down there in the rainforest. But anyway, it says since last Thursday alone, there's been 9,507 new fires in the region. So think about that. That's a tremendous amount of fires. Now, a lot of the fires, this guy, the head guy, which I spelled out his name earlier, he's saying it's all part of the burn. It's a natural thing that they do every year. that the farmers are used to clear their land. So he's saying a lot of these fires are from that. Okay, but it's let's see. But there's dozens of environmental groups are saying that the fires are not part of the natural occurring dry season. Okay, so there's dozens of environmental groups that are saying that this is not normal. There's a lot more fires than normal. And like I said, now in 2018 there was 40,000 fires. Hey, Mountain Girl, welcome back. 84% increase in fires since last year. Yep, I just said that. And welcome, and thank you very much for that donation, hon. I appreciate it. I hope you had a great time on your vacation up in the mountains. And you sent me some of the pictures, and they were absolutely beautiful, beautiful area up in Maine. So, and thank you for that. So anyway, but yeah, they're saying that. So this smoke from these fires is so intense. Now you're going to get a kick out of this. It's Sao Paulo, which is 27,000 kilometers to the south of the fires. The smoke blanketed the city. It was so intense, it basically was turning daytime into nighttime. So think about that. That's 0.6 of a mile is a kilometer, but still 27,000 kilometers away. You're talking, it's a long, long way, even miles wise, but it's crazy. Okay. But NASA, now here's something that I found really interesting about this whole thing. So you got the head of Brazil saying it's not a big deal. It's just a natural. The farmers are doing it to their normal burns. But you're talking about 84% increase in fires according from year to year. But, excuse me. But you got to realize, too, that the Amazon rainforest is half the size of this country of Canada. And we all know how big Canada is. Canada's huge, guys. So that's a large, large area. They call, the rainforest the lungs of the world because it's putting out so much oxygen for everybody. But largest producer of rubber, JJ just said. Yeah, but the farmers down there, Sao Paulo is as big as New York City, Kevin H. just said. Wow, that's pretty wild. But yeah, could you imagine having it like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and having it just completely dark because of the smoke from fires that are, over 1,000 miles away? That's just crazy. So, but anyway, here's something that I found interesting. NASA is saying that the size of the fires is slightly below the average this year from last year. But even though there's a lot more fires. So, but when you have an increase of 9,500 fires since last Thursday, I think that's really, really interesting. It's just but again, it's just, there's a whole, you're going to have, this group says this group says that. And I always say that that's kind of like a marriage. You have he said, she said, and somewhere in the middle is the truth. And that's how anything goes as far as that type of thing. But stayed in the Amazon rainforest for 10 days with the indigenous tribe. Oh, that's pretty cool. That had to be interesting. Kevin H. said native tribes are being careless with their smoking. Well, I saw in the article that there's over 1 million indigenous people in the rainforest area, I believe is what they said. But, you're talking, those type of fires, that's a lot of fires, and even if some of them are set intentionally, to cut back on, because I'm sure that rainforest is taken back over all the time, and the farmers want to keep their thing for the cattle grazing and stuff open. So, but yeah, what do we got here? But I just thought that was really, really interesting. So that's kind of why I wanted to throw that out as the topic tonight. I'm going to tell you what, my last live stream, which had absolutely nothing bad in it, nothing bad. They demonetized it. I asked for the review, and they did not give it back. And I'm just like, what do you got to do? So I'm trying to keep the titles. I'm going to try, unless there's a topic that I don't care, I'm going to talk about anyway. But I'm trying to keep the titles kind of more platonic type of thing. So hopefully I don't get demonetized for nothing. But and cyanide was spilt into Lake Michigan last week. Things are getting bad. Everything coming from the earth will return to such. Yeah, that's for sure. But yeah, if they, there's so many weird things going on. The weather anomalies. I was actually talking today. I was downtown. I had to get more cat food, and so I was talking to somebody there, and he was saying the same thing that I had said. You can feel that change in the air. I mean, I'm going to tell you what. Today was 87 degrees. It was very hot, very humid. We had rain this morning, and then all that did was make it more humid when the sun came out. But it was a beautiful day. We've got great power with the solar today. But it's that changes in the air, and you can kind of feel it. Now tomorrow, they're saying our high, I think, is going to be like 75, and we're going to be in the 50s tomorrow night. Which I'll be honest with you, I can't wait. To me, that's perfect weather. I love that weather. But it's just like when it's really, really hot and muggy, it's so hard to try to sleep at night. It's ridiculous. Yeah, Lori Austin said even the weather right now is crazy. Yeah, it's been very, very bizarre, and it's funny. Everybody, all these proponents are talking. And I love this too. They changed it from global warming to climate change. Okay, so they had to paint that broad brush, and it basically comes down. They want to do a carbon tax, carbon tax on everybody. But the reality is, and this is my opinion, and you guys can have a different opinion, and that's perfectly fine. I think the planet's cooling down. We are going into a grand solar minimum, and the weather has been crazy, and there's a pole shift also going on. I'm sure you guys know about that. That's actually happening right now as well. And so that combination of those two things, the weather's really, really whacked out. And you look at the crop losses that we've had this year, and it is amazing. I mean, absolutely amazing. And it's man-made BS. Exactly. There, that's just climate change is BS, pure and simple. Don't believe in any of that, and it's not man-made. The planet goes through cycles, and I've talked about this before. And the pole shift is no joke either. Somebody said the pole shift is no joke. Exactly. The planet goes through cycles, guys, and it happens. If you look at the history of the world, you look at the mini ice age that happened, okay, that lasted for a couple hundred years. Things got colder. The glaciers moved. I mean, we've had periods where it's been very, very warm. I mean, look at when the dinosaurs were on the planet. Most of the planet was a tropical planet. That wasn't caused by man. So, it's just those things happen. The planet's going to do what it's going to do. We are just gnats on a cat's back, basically, if you want it, or fleas. And when the planet's done with us, they're going to shake us off like anything else. Greenland is in the news lately. It's covered in ice. Yeah, I mean, things are increasing. Global temperatures increase 0.01 degrees in the last 100 years. Yeah, exactly. So, but the thing is, you watch and see, when the Vikings first found it was green. They grew vines there for wine. Yeah, exactly. And then it got colder, and that's, and it's funny because now it is definitely not green there in Greenland. So the planet goes in cycles. We're in a cycle right now. And, it's just we happen to be living in a time when things are really changing on this planet. I've talked about this a lot, guys. I'm going to talk about it again. Food. Food is going to be very, very important. If you guys can put up greenhouses, I highly recommend that you do that. That is my number one plan for next year. And again, it all depends on financing. But, I plan on putting in a greenhouse. I plan on doing geothermal. I plan on doing aquaponics, and and it's not going to be plastic poles with plastic over the top of it. If I'm going to do a greenhouse and I want to do a good size one, I want to do it right. I want it to last long after I'm gone. So that's my goal. That's my ultimate goal, is to have a really good greenhouse where, have the aquaponic system with the fish and the plants, not even using soil. So, that didn't we have a glacial shift melt creating the Great Lakes and Niagara Falls? Absolutely. When we had the Great Lakes here in New York, or the Great Lakes all up here in the Northeast, which we share with Canada, and then you have like the Finger Lakes in here in New York. Okay, that was all because the glaciers came down, they stopped, and then when they drew back, this was all under ice. This whole area was under ice. So if anything, if it's, and how long has it not been? Quite a while, obviously. So these things happen. The planet, like I said, it cycles, and we just happen to be in a cycle now where things are really, really changing. Yep, Great Lakes. Yep, glaciers dug out the Great Lakes. Absolutely. So Mother Nature's going to do what Mother Nature's going to do. It always has. I mean, if you go off and you get into certain areas where in the Bahamas and like Japan, they've gone and they've shown where there was civilizations which is now 30 feet underwater. Okay, well, it's because you had a lot more ice, a lot more cold, so there was a lot more land, and because with the melting of everything, then everything filled up. I mean, that happens. So it's really, really interesting, and I think it's kind of cool at the same time. Yesterday, Alaska had a winter storm advisory for the upper slopes of Alaska. I believe it. That doesn't surprise me at all. So what do I think is going to change? I think we're going to have shorter growing seasons. I think it's going to be colder. You look at this year, okay? I'm gonna go just strictly with New York, okay? You look at this year in New York. We had a very wet, very cool spring. So we really didn't have a normal spring. And then it went right from that into warm weather. It was like, bam, okay, now it's hot, okay? And here we are, heading to the end of August, and we're looking at, I mean, I'm going to tell you right now, we got leaves already starting to come down. I'll show you guys tomorrow on the netting for the bird enclosure for my chickens. There's already leaves already dying and falling off the trees. So that doesn't happen for no reason. So we're getting into that time where it's going to be fall. I'm going to tell you what, I think I've told you guys this. I think I'm going to probably get 3-4 more face cord of wood and have that delivered just to be on the 100% safe side, because I really think we are in for a bad, bad winter. You can always, there's different things that you can see that'll tell you. Mother Nature will tell you what it's going to be like. And so it just, it looks like it's going to be a long winter, JJ, and you're right. And I think we're going to get hit. We've had some pretty mild winters the last few years. We had the one year where we got, minus 15. We had like a week or 10 days, I think it was, where it was like sub-zero every day. But please don't say that. I wish, Kate, our cat, I wish. But that's just, it's my gut feeling again. And again, you know what? I'm just giving my opinion, but I can feel it in the air, that change, and it's going to get colder a lot faster this year for whatever reason. September, I think you're going to start seeing it. I really do, but it's unfortunate, but what are you going to do? But, again, that's why we prep, right? We prep for whatever is going to happen, no matter what that scenario is. That's why we get ready. And, the Northeast and the Great Lakes expected to be colder and snowier. Yep, Bruno. You know what? And I saw that forecast too. But a lot of time I go by, the feel in the air and how things are feeling. And like I said, we had like a really cold spring. When I have to start fires in May and in June in the wood stove to take the edge off in the house, that's messed up, When you live as long as we have, you remember the weather patterns. That's for sure. Yep, Smitty just said that. Yeah, we've seen, mild winters. I mean, I'll tell you what, the first couple winters we were up here were pretty mild. We got really, really lucky. And especially that first year we were up here, I was really happy we did not have a heavy-duty winter. So we are definitely due to get hammered. I mean, just absolutely hammered. So, it all depends, but... but it's like I said, it's just that's that feel. But again, that's why we get ready. That's why we do what we do in preparation for these type of things, because you never know. If I have to start burning earlier, as far as wood goes, having a wood stove in June is definitely out of the ordinary. I've never seen that. I haven't ever had to burn in May before this year. So usually by, late March, early April, we're done burning. But we literally burned all through the month of April. Go back and watch the videos. You'll see. We were burning here and there in May. And then I think I had 1 or 2 days in June that we had to burn too. And I remember getting on here going, my God, it's freaking June, and I'm having to burn wood in the wood stove. It was that chilly at night. And so, that's what, but again, you'd never know. So I would rather have more than enough than not enough. I don't want to get into, February and go, oh my God, I'm almost out of wood. I don't ever want to be in that situation. Now, I do have some dead trees on the property that I could take down and utilize that as well. So, that's always there. They're standing up, they're in the wooded areas of the property. So, I do have that option if I had to, but I would, like I said, I got a lot of wood already. You guys have seen the wood that I have. And, but that's why, like I said, that's why we do what we do. That's why we prep. But again, I think with all this wacky weather that we've had, and you look at not just in the United States this year, but around the world, crop production's down, and that is definitely going to affect things down the road. And if we continue to have disrupted patterns for weather, for growing crops and stuff like that, we need to be more self-reliant. That's really, really important. So, but again, if we do that, and are more self-sufficient in growing our own stuff and having greenhouses, you have more of a semblance, if you want to call it, of control. And if you have that greenhouse and you have a geothermal system in your greenhouse, you can keep that. When do the leaves typically turn? Generally, they start later in September. That's when you're going to start really seeing. October is, when it's generally in full bloom as far as the change goes. But middle to late September is when you really start seeing the change. And again, it really depends. If we have a cold front come in, it can affect that differently, a week or two different ways. But it just, here we are. And here's another thing to think about. We're in this is summer right now. We're still in summer. It doesn't start fall until September 21st. Okay. So we had 87 degrees today. Tomorrow's high. I'll tell you what, I'm going to go ahead and tell you the forecast. So you guys, for my area here. So tomorrow's high is going to be 73 degrees for the high. After hitting 87 today, the overnight low is going to be 54, which is perfect sleeping weather in my opinion. Love it like that, okay? Friday is going to be 71 with a 53 of a low. Saturday is 71 for the high with a 52 for the low. Sunday is 74 for the high with 54 for the low. That's fall temperatures, guys. That is not middle of the summer type of temperatures. So, and there's no big hurricanes in the Atlantic, but only in the Pacific coast. Yeah, that's kind of weird, too, that we haven't had more stuff going on with the hurricane, because this is hurricane season right now, too. So, yeah, my new vehicle is all-wheel drive. So that was one of the things I made sure of that we had when we bought the when I bought the new vehicle, that it was all-wheel drive. That was real important. I'm like, no, this is all-wheel drive, and they're like, yep. So, yeah, that makes a big difference. What are all the crops like over there? The crops, I'm telling you, it's weird this year. Again, because we had such a wet spring, we plant in this region up here. May 31st is generally when we all plant here. And again, what's happening is, my tomatoes are all coming in. Now, I had like 2 different types of tomato plants that I planted this year. The one group of tomato plants, 6 of them came in great. Of the other 6, I have had 2 of them that are doing okay. The other 4 did not make it at all. So it was a bad year for peppers. And but like the peas, the carrots, the onions, all those did great. The squash is doing fine, but it's slow. They're not getting as much as they need as far as overall being warm enough and stuff like that. It's been a real weird year. And like I said, when you have what happened in the Midwest, with the flooding, and then just the bizarre temperatures and stuff like that. It's crazy. I mean, and it's like the farmers were not able to get their crops in even here at a normal time. The fields were super super wet, so they got their crops in late. And if we have an early frost, and once we have a frost up here in New York, that's it. Your growing season's over. So once we have that 32-degree frost, we're done. So everybody knows that they want to get out there and get things going. But yeah, just the weather has been really really weird. Certain parts of the country, as you guys know, way way hotter than normal, like just ridiculous hot. Okay. And then, other places like where we are here in New York, it has not been a normal summer at all. And like I said, here we are in August, and our high tomorrow is going to be 73, where it was 87 today. That's a huge drop off. And we're going to be at 53 overnight tomorrow night. And again, like I said, that I'm not complaining. I love that weather. Fall is my absolute favorite time of the year. When the leaves change and you see all that, it's just fantastic. Guys, if you haven't shot me that thumbs up yet, too, if you would do that, I would appreciate it. I haven't even been paying attention to that tonight. But, yeah, it's just my peppers did better than tomatoes this year. Oh, okay, Tammy. Yeah, it's weird how, like last year, like here's another thing, like my cucumbers this year. Last year when you guys saw my garden, I had, off of 6 cucumber plants, I probably had better than 350 cucumbers. It was crazy. I was just giving them away, okay? My squash last year just did absolutely fantastic. My squash this year, it's not doing that well. The cucumbers, I've gotten some, but nothing near what, I should get. I had, like, my cantaloupes didn't even make it this year. So it just, you never know from year to year. But like I said, if I can get Stace, will LPL still do Sunday nights with you? You know what, Stace? I have no idea. I talked to her a little bit today, and I have no idea. Probably not is going to be my guess. She's doing different things, and she's going to be starting school here soon herself. And her boyfriend's extremely jealous. And so there's a lot going on with that. He had no reason to be, but he was. So, that's their business. I'm not going to get caught up in the drama of that. So that's probably, why. So, but I would say if I had to guess, I would say no. So, but anyway, well, now I've lost my train of thought, of course, because that's what I do. Oh, thank you. Beast Gamer 101 said, I like your poster. Yeah, one of my subscribers made the poster for me. I thought that was really, really cool. Actually, I'll show you something else, too. This was also given to me. And is Father and Son's Journey. So it's the father and son on the motorcycle. And that came from Sturgis. So that's very, very cool as well. So, but actually, I got a few other things that people have. Actually, I'll show you something else. Hold on. I'll show you a couple other things here. Hey, L. Gibson, local farmer told me today our area there in Colorado, farmers lost almost 70% of their tomato crop. Needless to say, prices have spiked. Oh, absolutely. So here's something that my neighbor Chris made for me for my STD. So she made that for me. So that was very, very awesome of her. Here's another one that somebody had made for me. From over the winter when I grow my beard out in the winter. So they made that one. And L. Gibson, thank you very much for that donation as well. I don't want to minimize that, but I want to make sure I read your comment. Here's something else that I thought was really cool that got sent to me. I believe Mountain Girl sent this one, if I'm not mistaken. And I thought that was really, really cool as well. So as you guys know, I do ride a Harley. Love my Harley. So, but the artwork that people have done for me, I am very, very appreciative of anything that anybody sends. And I do appreciate it. I really, really do. You guys are awesome. I can't even begin to tell you how awesome all of you are. I mean, I'm going to go back to the party again. It was just absolutely fantastic, the get together, and hopefully next year will be even larger. I think we'll have, I think it will be next year, since the first one is now out of the way. With more notice, people have more time to prepare to come to it. And a lot of people say, "Well, I'm so far away." Well, you know what? Tennessee is a good haul. It's about it was. He said it was a 12-hour drive that took him 18 because he made a wrong turn somewhere. So and then we had people came from Ohio. We had people come from Virginia, from Washington D.C. Like I said as well. So it was a good distance. A lot of people came for the get together. So that was pretty cool. So, but yeah. So anyway, it's just I think we're going to get hit this winter, and again with the crop shortages, people not having as much, and then there's you never know what weather event is going to come next, or earth event. What major earthquake could happen? We have the San Andreas fault line. We have the New Madrid fault line. So one of those bad boys pop off. You're talking about a lot of damage. It's going to cause a lot of havoc all over the country. I think people lose sight of the fact, like, we were talking about the Amazon rainforest, how important that is. Stay said, I'll send you a Cleveland Browns hat. Oh, that's funny. Hey, I'm a Cowboy fan through and through. You want to send me Cowboy gear? I'll take that all day long. But yeah, I've been diehard Cowboy since I was 8, 9 years old. Same with the Yankees. Diehard Yankee fan forever and a day. First things I've ever saw when I started watching sports was the Cowboys and the Yankees. So, diehard. But thank you very much. A good host brings good people equals a great channel. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And it was an absolutely fantastic time. And, everybody just sat down and we're talking with everybody. And it was great. Kevin H., Red Sox. You know what? Greatest rivalry in sports, Yankees and the Red Sox. Great rivalry. So it really, it's just, I have a lot of respect for the Red Sox organization. Can't stand them, be honest with you. But like people like David Ortiz, nothing but class. Absolutely nothing but class. You go back to Carl Yastrzemski, another guy, Jim Rice, all those guys, always class. You didn't hear nothing bad about them. And good organization, just like the Yankees, the Yankee organization too. You had some great people in the Yankee organization as well. So, but again, everybody has their team, and you should support your team, and I respect that. So, yeah, Maddie, I'm with you all the way. love my Yankees. I got a buddy of mine who's a diehard Dodgers fan, and so we were talking that if they go to the playoffs together, if they end up being in a World Series, we definitely got to try to get down to Yankee Stadium and see a game. So I think that'd be awesome. Because and here's the funny thing. This is what I told him. It wouldn't even matter who won. It would be just because we got to be there. I think that would be probably the coolest thing. So that would be a lot of fun. But because like I said, I'm diehard Yankees and he's diehard Dodgers. So, but yeah, that's just something different. But but again, like guys with food, I've talked about food a lot, and I don't want to beat a dead horse with that, but I really, we all need to get ready, because I think bad times are coming, and I think the bad times just started. Okay, and so you just don't know what's going to happen, and again, it's with like events that are going on around the world, like we're talking about the rainforest, obviously, and how much oxygen it produces for the world, not just for that area, but for the world. When you're talking about 25% of the oxygen is produced from the rainforest, and you have that many fires this year down there, there's definitely something to be concerned about. Now NASA is saying it's nothing to be concerned about, even though with the number of fires, not as much area is burning. So again, who do you listen to? George says, hang out with us downstaters. Yeah, it depends on where we're at. I wouldn't want to be in New York City. My stepson, he lives in New Jersey, right across the river. He looks on New York City all the time. His girlfriend works in New York City, and they love it. They go there and they party, but they're young. They're 23, 24 years old. So, but it's just there's always. I'm gonna tell you what, New York City makes me nervous and ask because it is such a target too. And if people are looking to do nefarious things, New York City's always going to be a target for that. So I have my concerns for his safety and stuff like that. And I've talked to him, and he knows. I said, anything goes down there, I said, you get to me. He's a great kid. I had a hand in raising him, and that's not why he's a great kid. He's just a good person in general. But hopefully my influence was a positive thing on him. I think it was, and it was all the respect thing. Sure, my daughter's calling. Oh, she just hung up. She probably realized I'm in the middle of my live stream. I told her, I said, call me later, but I'm doing a live stream from 8 to 9. So what does she do? She calls now. So, but I'll talk to her after the show. She's doing great. I just got a text from her now too. Let's see what she says. Hold on. Sorry, I forgot. That's okay. Yeah, because that's it. Like it rang once and boom, it hung up. That's pretty funny. But that's okay. I'll give her a call afterwards. But yeah, it's just it's hard to let your kids go. But we have to. We do the best we can. And the choices they make after they leave is 100% on them. It is not a reflection of you. If you give your kids a good, solid foundation, okay, and you give them that base and that support, we're always going to support our children. I don't care how old they're. I told her the other day, I said, honey, I'm going to tell you what. I said, you could be 50 years old, and I will be 86 years old at that point. I said, you will still be my baby. So, that will never change, no matter how old, your relationship changes, obviously, as they get older. But, it's you just do the best you can and hope that they make right decisions and hope that little voice in the back of their head, if they get in the situation, that voice in the back of their head of dad saying, don't do this, don't do that. So hopefully that's there. And so that's a good thing. You should call her now and put her on speaker. And I'll talk to her later. That's kind of a private time. So, but she'll be back. She'll probably join me for a couple of shows here and there. Obviously, she will not be home every weekend, but she will definitely be home. And then we have Thanksgiving, we have Christmas, and they get quite a bit of time off. So she'll be back home. And but yeah, she's as you guys well know, anybody that's watched my channel even for a minute, I am so proud of my children. All three of them. Josh is a great kid. Eddie's a great kid. And Heather's a great girl. And we just try to do the best we can. And that's all we can do. So, yep, you saw that. You watched her moving in video. Mountain Girl said, I watched her moving in video. What a sweet girl. Yeah, she was so excited. I got there with her in the morning. Her mom and her grandfather came. And they brought some stuff as well. And then they didn't stay long. And I hung out with her. And then, we got her all settled in. And then we went out and we had lunch. We had to go see the financial aid department. So that was fun. So we did that. And then we went and had lunch at a place called Gracie's at RIT. It's one of the places there. We did lunch. And then I said, well, I'm going to let you go ahead and go and do what you got to do. Because she needed that time to get settled in. And do her thing there, and so that's what she's doing, and but it's a great way that they do it. They get them settled in ahead of time, so that by the time the first day of school starts, which will be Monday, is they will be very acclimated. They'll have been there for many days at that point, and they'll know their routines. They're doing all kinds of seminars. Like I was going to stop by and see her tomorrow. And she says, I got this thing I got to do from, this time to this time. And then she's got to have lunch with these other people. What's her channel? It's Hang Out with Heather. So no space in between. So it's HANG Out with Heather. And that's her channel. And Make her a little ladder for her bed. Hey, she's young. She can climb up there. She'll be okay. It's got like on the back side, it's kind of like got rungs that she can climb up there. I'm sure she's got it down already. So, but yeah, she'll be glad to be away from all the green tea. She actually likes her half lemonade, half iced tea. Arnold Palmer, that 50-50. That's the one she likes. So, and you're right. You know what? It's a new learning experience for her. You know what? And she's going to do great. And you know what, JJ? That's funny that you say that. My daughter is a sleepwalker. She has told her roommates that she is a sleepwalker. So the bed itself, if you watch the video, it's got a rail. So if she's up there sleeping and the rail's on there, if she flops over, she's not going to fall out of bed. So, but yeah, she is asleep. She sleepwalks when she's nervous. When she's at her mom, she sleepwalks more. Usually, like when the school year was coming up, that's when she would really start sleepwalking because everything would be on her mind. And so it's pretty funny. Yeah, she made sure she told all her roommates. So she goes, yeah, if you hear me blabbering away and getting up in the middle of the night, just redirect me and put me back in bed. So, hey, the Maverick Pepper, did you get the alarm I sent for her? It has a case that was shipped separately. I did get that. And I got the case. The case came in the mail. And then, and so thank you very much for that donation as well. So I get this case in the mail, and I'm like, what is this? What's this for? And then the rest of the shipment came. Actually, I'll show you guys. Hold on. Let me grab that. All right, so this came first. So I got this little case, right? So I open it up. There's nothing in it. And I'm like, what in the heck is this thing all about, right? So then, and thank you again, the Maverick Prepper, for sending this for Heather. So it is something that she clips on, and it's an alarm, and that goes right into that case. So that's very cool. So thank you so much for sending that for her safety in college. I really appreciate that, and I will get that to her, and I will get that. And the other thing that you, as well. So hold on a second. I will pull this out so people can see. Hold on one second. Yep, this all of it just came today. So this here is a power duster. Okay, so I'm gonna bring that up so you guys can see that. Hopefully, so you don't see through it. So that's what that looks like. And it says use dry good quality duster for dusting to prevent clogging. So it's that's what that is. So he sent that as well. So thank you very much for that. I appreciate it. And that's to help with the flea problem and for the birds and stuff like that. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. I was going to save that and show it in another video, but since you brought it up, I'm like, well, I'll show it now. So, but anyway, so yeah, it was very, very cool. So thank you so much. I do appreciate that. And so the safety thing for Heather, though, that really means a lot. I appreciate that. And I do plan on getting her pepper spray as well. I don't know if she's allowed to carry it at school, but she's got it. Who's going to know? And if she has to use it at any point in time, it's not like they're going to tell her she's in the wrong.
What? It's an alarm?
That's not. This is honey.
Yeah?
Yep. Hey, come over and say hello to everybody real quick. Right here's the camera. Say hello. All right. Great tool for causing pain. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. So look at everybody saying hi to you, Bub.
Hi.
So, but anyway, so now we got the bachelor pad going, don't we, Bub?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, us and the cats.
It's a shame that Abby
is outside. Yeah. Yeah. If Abel was inside, Eddie would bring him over and show him to the camera, but he's outside right now. So now I got to tell you another story. I went over to my neighbor tonight, And the chickens, okay, so we got to talk about the chickens real quick. So first of all, our little rooster's doing better. He is there. I got the, if you have seen inside the chicken coop, we got the two sides and it's separated by the door, and I keep all my stuff on the one side. I have him over on that side so that he can't get pecked or attacked, okay? And so he's definitely bouncing back. He's getting better, and so that's good. But he still has the company of the other chickens, but they can't peck him anymore, okay? So yesterday, we ended up with 7 eggs yesterday. We had 4 of the adult eggs, and we had 3. They're called pullet, but I call them juvenile eggs. 3 of them. Okay, so we had 7 eggs yesterday. Today we had 4 more adult eggs, and we ended up with 4 of the pullet eggs today. So today was our best day egg-wise. We had 8 eggs out of 9 laying hens, and so. Will I keep the rooster? I probably will, Stace. I'm not going to butcher him. I'm going to tell you that right now. I will not do that at all. If I don't need to do it to survive, I'm not going to do it, and that's just me. I'm going to try to, make sure he's safe, gets 100% recovered, and then he's going to come out, and I'm going to let him outside with me if I'm outside, and we'll see how he does. So that's my game plan with the rooster. It's kind of crazy, I know, but he's not a bad bird, and it's like, and I can't put him back in with the other chickens because Goliath will just beat him up again. So, but what are you going to do? So my granny had batting hens so small we had to eat 6 eggs at a time. Yeah, with the pullet eggs, you got to use 2 of them equals 1 regular egg, but they're really cool. So what I did was today, I was going to tell you, I took a dozen of the regular eggs and a dozen of the pullet eggs over to my neighbor, and it's her and her son there next door. And so I gave her the 2 dozen eggs, and they had got this little black kitten. It's cool cat. And does he have a name yet? I was going to call him Foghorn Leghorn, but I probably going to change that. I'm not sure what I'm going to call him yet, to be honest with you. I got to see what his personality is more. So we'll kind of go from there. We're just going to have to see. But, I'll tell you another chicken story in a second, guys. And so you'll kind of understand where I'm coming from. But anyway, so I was asking her about, I said, hey, how's that little kitten you got doing? She was letting him in and out, and he's gone. And too small. She should have not let him out that young, and I think something got him, sadly. But he was a really, really cool kitten. But she said it's been about 6 weeks now, and she hasn't seen him. So very sad because he was a really, really cool little cat. But unfortunately, these things do happen. But especially when you live in the country. When our guys were kittens and they were young, they stayed inside for a long time. I mean, well, we had the advantage too of it being wintertime. So I wasn't going to let them out in the winter, especially the kittens. So anyway, what I was going to tell you, a chicken story. You're going to like this, okay? So when I was growing up, and I grew up on a farm out in a town called Elby in New York. So anybody that lives in New York is probably going to know where I'm talking about. We had a 72-acre farm. Call him Sissy. Yeah. Hey, he was little. What do you want? When the big bully's beating up the little small guy, doesn't mean he's a sissy. But anyway, so I grew up on a 72-acre farm for about 4 or 5 years when I was really young, probably from 5 to almost 10. And so we had gotten a bunch of chickens, and we had a pallet. It was like the door. Well, the pallet had fallen, and they were all babies, and it hit the one chicken, and it messed his leg up, okay? So we knew with chickens, if something is wrong with one chicken, the rest of them will peck that chicken to death and they'll kill it. So we took him, and we had a refrigerator box in the house, and we kept this chicken in this refrigerator box. So I had a $5 bet with my stepdad at the time. I said, it's a rooster. He said, no, it's a hen. I said, no, it's a rooster. He said, no, it's a hen. So we named this chicken Elizabeth. That was the name of the chicken, who lived in our house. And we had a trailer, good old trailer trash out in the country, right? So we had this refrigerator box in the living room, and that's where Elizabeth stayed. Well, as Elizabeth grew up, guess what? He became Mr. Elizabeth. So he was a cool rooster. He was very cool, but he always had a limp. So when he would run, he would like do this when he ran because he had that limp. Well, we had a vegetable stand. Okay, this is just going along with the story. So we had a vegetable stand, and we had 2 dogs, and the dogs and the chicken or rooster got along fine, no issues, and we had cats too. So what happened? The people would stop at the vegetable stands, and the dogs and Mr. Elizabeth would run out there, and we would be like, Elizabeth, Elizabeth, get back here. And people would be like, isn't that a rooster? And so we would have to tell them the story of how he came to be Mr. Elizabeth. But yeah, it was fun. One of those good memories that I have as a kid, and it was pretty cool. But so yeah, it was a really interesting time in my life. Some good memories, some bad memories, but should have called him Pimp Daddy. Yeah, that's funny. Hey, it wasn't my choice. I was a little kid. I didn't have no say in what the name of that chicken was. So, but like I said, he was a very, very cool chicken. So, anyway, I wanted to let you guys know too. The Legion shirts that that you saw in the giveaway from the video from the Prepper Get Together, they are available now. It's like Lucy, yeah, Lucy, our cat Lucy, I know, but those are available now on the website. So if you are interested in that We Are Legion Preppers, We Are Legion shirt, that is available now on the website. So if you're interested, preppernurse1.com, obviously, so definitely go and check that out. Again, I say We Are Legion because we are many. There's so many of us all over the country, all over the world. We are a huge, huge family. And when the time comes, guys, and I've said this before, I think that the reason a lot of us were awoken, and I really, truly believe we were awoken for a reason. We were awoken so that we could help people. We can make a difference. And, it's, I think that's what it's really, truly all about. And I think it's really, really important that we make that determination when that time comes to try to do the best we can, especially with little kids, guys. It makes all the difference in the world for them because their parents didn't prepare, and maybe their parents aren't going to be there for them at that time, and we can really truly make a difference in a lot of people's lives if we want to. And again, that's an individual choice, and so, but we are Legion. There's no doubt about that because we are many. That's really, really important. So, but anyway, so I'm going to ask, we're going to see where everybody's from. So if you guys would tell me where you're from so we can read that off tonight. Montreal, Quebec, Canada. Skinwalker, Randy in Utah. Let's see, Oklahoma, Chicagoland. We got Connecticut, Virginia, Mobile, Alabama, New Zealand, Northern Virginia, BC, Canada, Ireland, very nice. Pennsylvania, Binghamton, New York, Alabama, Georgia, Richmond, Virginia. We have Southwest Virginia, Sacramento Valley, that's in California, the UK, Atlanta, Iowa, Ohio, Indianapolis, Indiana, again the UK, Ontario, Canada, Kettleburg, Ohio, San Antonio, Texas, Seneca Falls, New York, Raleigh, North Carolina, Florida, New Jersey, Sullivan County, New York, Queensland, Australia, very cool, Akron, Ohio, Central Florida, Connecticut, Colorado, Delaware, Birmingham, Alabama, Cincinnati, Ohio, very, very cool, Scotland, very nice, the UK again, Nashville, Grand Rapids, Minnesota, Missouri, South Carolina, Dallas, Georgia, Arizona, Kimberly City, Missouri. So, guys, we are all over the world, all over the country. And I really, truly believe that we have all been awoken for a really important reason. And not only just to save ourselves and our family and our friends, but to try to help other people if we can do that. Now, I know some of you are going to say, no way, I'm not helping anybody. But I think we really need to take it on an individual basis when that time comes. What does that person bring to the table? Where are they willing to help? Are they willing to work? And and also, like I say, the kids. It's not the kids' fault. It is never the children's fault. So, that's important to remember. And so let's see. We should be the light and the hope for the world. Actually, absolutely, Sandy. I agree with that 100%. It's not an obligation that we have, but it's a calling that we have. And I think that we really can make a difference. And, I got into this, and it's funny. I was talking with Tim today. He's, up by the Adirondacks. And, we were talking, and, it's, he was saying, that talking about, watching me got him really going and gives him good ideas and stuff like that. Well, with me being a nurse, I'm a helper. That's what I do. I help people. Okay. And so with prepping and doing this, again, what am I doing? I'm helping people. And that's what it's about. And that, for me, that's what it's about. It's about helping. It's showing people that this is possible. It's showing people that this is possible to do as a single parent, with young children. I mean, my children are a little bit older now, but, when we moved out here, they weren't. So, it was a growing experience. It was a learning experience. It was good for them. It's something that they will never forget for the rest of their lives. No matter what Heather decides to go on and do with her life, she will have that experience, and she'll have that, and she'll never forget that. And, she'll look back. I'll tell you what, one of the things that I know she'll look back at fondly is when we would go out and look at the stars. And so, that's kind of cool, But those are memories that you have to make. You have to get out there and do it to do it. So anybody out there, guys, when I see people with young kids, when I'm out in public and I see people with young kids, I always tell them all the time, enjoy every minute that you have now because it goes by so fast. We have an opportunity to make a major influence in our children's lives and in a good way. And I think that that's really important too. And, usually when you see kids that were raised in a certain way, they're better kids. And I don't care what environmental background they're from. If they had a strong parent, one or the other, in their lives, or both, if that's the case, name the Rooster Legion. Yeah, but he's all by himself, that poor guy. It definitely, like I said, it's just, I don't know, it's something to think about, and make those memories because that time is going to fly by. So any kind of good, positive memories you can make going on vacation, just doing something simple. I'll tell you a quick story, okay? And my niece will bring this up even now, and she's in her 30s now. When my niece was little, I had got out of the service, and I went back home for a little while, and I was living with my mom and my stepfather, and my niece was there, okay? And I would come home from work, and I'd be beat, just absolutely beat. And my niece would say, Uncle Eddie, would you push me on the swing? And I'm going to tell you what, guys, the last thing I wanted to do was push that kid on the swing. But guess what? I did it because it was important to her. And so I would push her on that swing, and she still brings that up to this day. She goes, I remember you would come home, and you would push me on the swing. So, what if I had said to her, no, I can't do it? She might ask a couple more times, and then they stop asking, guys. They really do. So any kind of thing that you can do for your kids to have good memories, that's really, really important. So I just wanted to share that with you guys too, because I do. I think that's really, really hugely important. Alaska Prepper made a good video about family of the day. Must watch. I'll go check it out. I will definitely check that out. Yeah, family's everything, guys. It really is. And I know that some of us come from broken families or bad families, but family doesn't always mean blood relatives, okay? I want you to remember that too. Family can be those people that are there for you, that you can count on. I'm gonna mention two people in this chat, okay? No blood relation at all. My buddy Steve that lives in Maryland and my buddy Reese who lives in South Carolina. Those two guys are my brothers, okay? If they called me up and they needed me for anything, I would be there for them in a heartbeat. And you know what, guys? They would do the same for me. And I know that, okay? So that's what when I say family, that's what I'm talking about. People that you can count on. Maybe your biological family is not there for you, or maybe they're garbage and you got away from it. That's great. But again, it's, family is who you decide to surround yourself with. And if you surround yourself with good people, it really, truly makes a difference. Here's another example, okay? My neighbors, Chris and Greg, that live behind me. You guys saw them. Some of you guys saw them at the Prepper get-together. They are awesome, awesome salt of the earth people. And we've already all agreed that we're going to work together when that time comes. So, that's important too. So they're good people. They're really good people. So who you surround yourself with, it always comes down, guys, comes down to three things: people, places, and things. Remember that. It's so, so important. What happens in your life comes down to the places that you are, the people that you're hanging out with, and the things that you're doing. So if you're doing stupid things with stupid people and in the wrong places, you're going to get yourself jammed up. But if you're hanging out with the right type of people in the right type of environment and doing positive things, you're never going to get jammed up. So think about that. Sherry May just said, Ed, you are amazing and truly appreciate your channel and wisdom. Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Guys, I'm going to tell you what, you know me, I shoot from the hip. I say it like it is. And, anybody that's younger, go by my experience. Believe me. I have seen it all. I've had an interesting life. And I think, you know what? Yeah, play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Kevin H. just said that. Exactly. But anybody, like I said, listen to people that have lived it. Listen to people that have been there. They're not going to give you bad advice. They're going to try to help you so that you don't make those same stupid mistakes that you've made. And that's what it's all about. A lot of people dismiss older people because they don't want to hear it, or they have a tendency to repeat themselves and say the same stories. I do the same thing. I am not going to lie. I'll repeat things. It's just, but certain things are important, and so that's why we do that. Ed, speaking the truth is a very wise man and might want to listen. Exactly. Yep. Oh, speaking the truth, that's the yeah, always listen to people that, like I said, have had that experience. So, well, anyway, guys, it is 9 o'clock, and I am going to call my daughter. So I appreciate you all being here tonight and listening. I'm going to try to come up with a better topic for Friday and for Sunday, but I definitely wanted to talk about that Brazilian rain, the fires down there that was going on, because that's definitely one of those things that we all really need to pay attention to. So something to keep an eye on again. There's a lot of things, unfortunately, that we need to keep an eye on. But anyway, guys, remember, we are all in this together. That is important to remember. All remember to hug and kiss the ones you love. Tell them every single day. Tomorrow is not guaranteed. We never know what's going to happen in life. So it's really important, to tell those people how you feel. Also remember, guys, STD. It's one step at a time, one thing at a time, and one day at a time. Whatever you're trying to accomplish, whatever you're trying to do, you can do it. The only one that's going to stop you from getting there is yourself. Nobody else can stop you. And if you are not subscribed, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that thumbs up if you haven't hit that thumbs up button yet. And make sure you hit that bell icon so you get notifications. All right, I'll see you guys all tomorrow. I hope everybody's doing great. Prepper Nurse 1, out for now.